Hi guys, hope everybody is well and has been looking after themselves. I wanted to shoot a video today to talk about the importance of self-care and how important it is in terms of reaching your goals. Without investing in some form of self-care or taking care of yourself, it's unlikely you're going to reach your goals. So what is self-care? One might say. We might think of self care as getting our hair done, nails done, going to a spa for the day. And yes, that is true. They are all forms of self care, but those are quite surface levels, very temporary measures. What I want to talk about is the invested self care, the stuff that runs deep. So when we talk about what is self care, we could possibly say it's doing what serves the mind, body, and soul. So let's start with our minds. The mind is a terrible thing to waste, we often hear, and that is true. However, it can be overlooked in terms of taking care of our minds. We many of us, we scroll through the news all day, we are on social media, and the things that we're feeding ourselves and we're feeding to the brain aren't the most healthiest. And so it's important that we look at the things that are going to help us. That could be brain training games, that could be reading books, that could be being mindful of what you're reading and what you're lending your energy to by way of how much news you read, how much, there's not much positive stuff in the news, how much of the news you're reading, how much you're scrolling social media. Essentially, what you feed will grow. And if we're not guarding our gates and reading the things that are going to enhance our lives, i.e., be it a course, be it videos that are motivating you to work towards a better version of yourself, be it your Bible, whatever that is that's going to enhance your life, that's the things you need to be lending your energy to. Now, it's easier said than done, because the things that are garbage, the things that don't serve us, are the things that we seem to lend our energy to by default almost. But it's the things that are going to edify us and fill up our minds so that we are in a positive mindset. We don't understand, if we're constantly hearing bad news because we're constantly reading the news or scrolling social media, and then we've got our algorithms tainted because we looked at a couple of brutality incidents, and now all we see is on our feed are negative stories. That's going to have an effect on our outlook, and it's going to affect our mood. It enhances all sorts of things, whether it be stress, which could essentially spiral into depression. All these things have their cause and effect. So we've got to be mindful about the things that we're feeding into our minds. It sounds obvious, but so many of us don't. And it's because the mind's unseen and we just abuse it. We just feed it nonsense. Kiki, TikTok this, thingy that, looking at the latest debates online of things that are not moving the message forward. We've got to be more intentional. Be it you take a social media detox, if that's your thing and you've been going too far with it and you've spiraled. Be it being intentional about how many times a day or a week you look at news stories. Be mindful of what you're feeding to your brain and start taking time to feed your mind the positive things, the things that are going to enhance your life. And then you've got your body. Our bodies are a temple, but so many of us abuse it, and this goes in many forms. And listen, this is a touchy subject because the way society is moving today, when it's telling you go and buy the better version of you rather than doing the hard work. Listen, you can do all of that. You can chop and screw whatever you want. You can go and get the fillers. You can go and get the fake bum. You can go and do all of that nonsense. What's the other thing they're all taking? The injections that are making them all lose weight. But if you don't have the discipline, it's not sustainable. You can take your shortcut, but you're going to get cut short because it's not sustainable. And it doesn't give you the discipline needed to sustain a healthy body. Now, I'm not saying we've all got to be gym rats and doing the most, but if we start to implement small changes by way of eating slightly healthier. Okay, if you're not quite ready to go to the gym yet, it may be a case of just taking that extra walk after dinner time or in the morning, or parking your car that little bit further away to get yourself moving. It may be as simple as starting with something like that initially before going all in. But essentially, you want to be taking care of your body. If you know you have problems, if you know you're struggling with your weight, if you're overweight, and you've been saying to yourself for the longest, or you keep crash dieting, stop the crash dieting where you're cutting everything out. Take out a few little things. Get moving and do something that you enjoy. If you enjoy it, you're more likely to stick it out. So yes, I get it. Gym's not for everyone, but if gym is going to help you, start small. Start small. Start a couple of times a week and stop trying to do so much so soon, which isn't sustainable. So you go for 2 weeks and you're on it, but after that you fall off because you're just burnt out. You don't need to do all of that. Find something you like. It could be going for a walk. It could be going for a walk with a friend. It could be going for a bike ride. It could be swimming. It could be finding your local dance class, Zumba class. The list goes on. Take yourself back to your childlike version of yourself. And then look at the things you enjoyed and start there. No, it's not too late, because there's something for everyone out there. They have over 50s yoga. They have, all sorts. Have a good look and find what's going to work for you. But make sure it works for you and you're not trying to keep up with the Joneses or the latest fad because everyone says it's cool. Because if it doesn't speak to you internally, you're not going to stick it out. You're not going to stick it out. You're going to do it once or twice and then you're going to fall off. Stay true to yourself. Stay true to yourself and stop trying to keep up with the status quo and keeping up with the Joneses. All of this, trying to fit an aesthetic that doesn't work for you. Like, people are always going to have an opinion, but stop letting people talk you into an identity that doesn't resonate with you. And stay true to yourself. God didn't make no mistakes when he made you. So how you are is how you're meant to be, in terms of the things you cannot change. And then or you can change if you want to go under the knife. But we're not condoning that or co-signing that here. But in terms of the things you can change via natural measures, be it exercise, be it eating a slightly healthier, taking out a few sugary things, that you might just be going over the top with, be it those measures, do it. Do it. At the end of the day, if you do that over a long period of time, you're going to be a better version of yourself. Chopping, stuffing, screwing, all the rest of it, it doesn't look good. It doesn't look good, and it's not true to you. And at the end of the day, the mindset you're putting yourself in when you do that, when you add these body parts that aren't naturally yours, it messes with your head. Because you might feel like you look good when you do all the makeup and you take the photos, but when you're waking up first thing in the morning and you're looking at yourself and you can still see the scars, or you can still see the swelling, or whatever it is, it's a different story. So stop all of that, because it's not going to fix you internally. You're still going to be that broken person inside if you cannot learn to appreciate who you are authentically. So just do the little bit of work. Get moving. Take care of yourself. Think about your health rather than the visual aesthetics. Let go of the vanity. That's not of God. Think about your health. The minute you focus on that over vanity, you'll see things will shift. Things will move. And then you've got soul. What's good for the soul, do more of that. That's what they tell us, right? Indeed. Do what works for you. Do what speaks to you on the inside. Stop letting people dictate your life for you because they're telling you these are the things that you should be doing. Be it your job, be it your home, where you live. All right, I know it's not easy for everyone to just get up and move. But if you need to make changes that are doable, but you've been on it, do it. These are all examples of self-care. As long as you're not exercising that self-care, you're not going to tell yourself you're deserving, which is going to restrict you and hinder you from working towards your goals. You've got to believe that you're deserving, and the only way to get to that mindset is to start exercising self-care. Your soul is your internal energy. It's got to be radiating. It's got to be positive if you're going to be able to work towards the things you want. So listen, again, if it is a bit of yoga, if it's faith-based and it's church, it may not be church in its entirety. It could be ministry, a smaller group that you work with, could be online. Do those things that are working for you or work for you, and stop sidelining it in the hopes that Saturn's going to shift, because it's not. And then you're feeding yourself again with all these outside opinions, the outside noise. Got yourself in circles that no longer serve you, because you're trying to grow, because you're trying to elevate, but because you've known people for how long, you feel like you're obliged to give them access to you. Come on, let's stop that. If it doesn't suit you, if the gossip and the chatty isn't serving you, remove yourself from the group, exit the chat. Stop allowing people access to you who don't align with the values that you now have. Do some more soul serving. Speak to God when you feel like you need to speak to God. Got a problem? Call God. Stop calling people who don't have your best interest at heart and want to keep you in that same box. So they're going to give you some biased, jaded advice that might give you some temporary relief, but ultimately is helping them from you not getting the bigger result that you need out of it. It's time that we start digging deep and looking within. What does our soul need? Does it need 5 minutes meditation in the morning? Does it need to be out in nature a little bit more, because that's where you feel closer to God? Whatever that is, or whatever that looks like for you, do it. And no, you do not need permission to. The thing is, I hear every day about people wanting to achieve all these wonderful goals and these grand visions that they have. Obviously, I'm in the faith and wellness space, the health and wellness space, and faith and wellness coaching. And so I hear about these things. But when I say, well, have you done this as a starting point? The first thing they're talking about, have you gone for that class? Have you signed up to that gym? Have you gone for that massage or acupuncture? The first thing people are talking about is, oh, how much does that cost? Now, I get it. We're in hard times, so we can't be frivolous. But we can't be so scared, in such a scarcity mindset of self-investment, that we're allowing ourselves, our one selves, with the one chance we get on this planet, to just break down without taking that time to self-invest. If your back is aching or your neck is aching, spend that money on the massage or the chiropractor visit. Spend it if you need to. Okay, we do need to have a bit of money, but we cannot be scared of self-investing. We cannot be scared of spending a little bit of money, a little bit of time on self-care, which is going to essentially enhance our self-love. Because as we start seeing the results of self-care, be it taking that time to go for that walk or exercise, be it more time with the Lord, all these things are going to elevate you. And as you start to see that elevation, whether physically or mentally, you are going to realize that the world is your oyster, and you are going to feel more deserving of the things that you want to achieve, because you're going to start believing it. At the moment, they're just dreams. You're telling yourself you want that, but deep down, you don't really deserve it. And it shows. It shows based on how you're not willing to show up for yourself and exercise self-care. So yes, you can get nails done, hair done, lashes done, but if you're not taking care of the fundamentals underneath, it don't mean nothing. It's all temporary fixes. They're not long-term at all. So yes, it's a temporary fix of self-care, but ultimately you need to dig deep and do the things that are going to serve the soul, and be unapologetic in it. Stand in it, because the only person that's coming to save you is you. No one else is coming to save you. So you can do the quick fixes, the dollop, the BBL and all the nonsense in the hope that you're going to catch a baller and he's going, no. They're going to see your low self-esteem from a mile away, because they can see that, and no one who loves themselves doing all of that. Yeah, I said it. They're going to see that from a mile away, and they're going to know that you've got low self-esteem, and they're going to be like, boom, there's my target, and they're going to snatch you up. And no, it's not about paying for your lifestyle. They're going to bleed your insides dry, because they can see your lack of self-love. They can see your self-hate wrapped in a package of cosmetic surgery. Stop all of that. Stop all of that and dig deep. Stop all of that and dig deep. Yeah, start speaking to God, whether it's via a church, your pastor, in a group of ministry, or just by yourself. Have that quiet time with him. Whatever it looks like to you, sit down and start thinking about what really resonates inside and what you haven't been giving yourself. If you need to spend £5 more per week on your shopping in order to have healthier items, some extra fresh food, simple things like that. These are acts of self-care and self-love that are ultimately going to help you be more healthy. Yes, we all go through our ups and downs with it, but get real in terms of how you are dealing with yourself and stop dealing with yourself like a second rate. God don't see you that way. God don't see you that way. It doesn't matter what other people have told you, and it doesn't matter what other people do to you. Anyone that's not speaking life into you, you need to put at arm's length, and you need to do it immediately and unapologetically. It is time. Now, I know I've gone on from when I started this channel about working towards our goals, and ultimately I want everyone to do that. But until we get to a point where we're actually exercising self-care, which is going to enhance our self-love, which ultimately, when we start seeing ourselves that way, is going to make us feel deserving of all the things we want inside. That is the only way we're really going to get there. If we don't have the ability to self-invest or exercise self-care with ourselves, then we're never going to think that we really deserve it. We're never going to believe it inside. So yes, I just want to leave you with that today. I hope everybody's well, and hopefully I'll be back soon with some more videos. It's just been a busy time, but yes, I hope to be back soon. But until then, look after yourselves and take care. Bye.